Whenever we see Team India collapsing or losing, we often hear people say, यार एक था जो विकेट के पीछे से मैच बदल देता था और धोनी है ना संभाल लेगा. This sentiment isn't new. Even in the 90s and early 2000s, whenever Team India was in trouble, people used to say, oh boy, don't turn off the TV, Sachin is still there, anything is possible. This is what we call trusting and having faith in our heroes. 10 years from now, whenever we will see Team India struggling, we will probably say, Yaar, Virat or Rohit hote to sambhal lete. That's why I'm starting a new series where we will explore cricketers stepping up to handle that team's collapse, the greatest inning and all. Not every inning results in a win, but it often helps to avoid embarrassment. In our first episode, we will look at how MS Dhoni saved Team India from collapse and won us the Tri-Series final in 2013. Let me know in the comment section who remembers this Tri-Series. After lifting the ICC Champions Trophy in England, the Indian cricket team was on top of the world. They had just beaten the best team in the world, and now they were headed to Caribbean for Silicon Mobile Cup. But this wasn't just any other series, it was a Tri-Series, a format that had a special place in cricket history. Tri-Series used to be a very important event in international cricket. The concept was simple but thrilling. 3 teams compete against each other, with each team playing other twice in round-robin format. The top 2 teams then face off in the final. It wasn't just about winning, it was about consistency, adaptability and handling pressure over multiple games against different opponents. For fans, Tri-Series provided an opportunity to see their favorite team play against different opponents. In the 90s and early 2000s, Tri-Series were common, especially in countries like Australia where the format became a staple for the cricketing summer. For India, Tri-Series provided some memorable moments like the famous Coca-Cola Cup in Sharjah in 1998. Go and ask your daddies, they remember that Tri-Series, it was memorable. But as T20 cricket gained popularity and international schedule became more packed, the Tri-Series format started to fade away. However, in 2013, the West Indies Cricket Board decided to bring back this format with their West Indies tour, featuring India, Sri Lanka and West Indies themselves. It was throwback to the old days, promising an high-intensity cricket. India entered the Tri-Series riding high on the Champions Trophy success. They had just beaten England in the finals and the team's morale was sky high. But cricket, like life, is unpredictable and the Caribbean island was about to present a new set of challenges for Team India. The series kicked off with India facing West Indies in Kingston. However, this match marked the beginning of a challenging journey for Team India. Batting first, India posted a modest total of 229 runs, with Rohit Sharma scoring patient 60 and Suresh Raina contributing 44. But during the match, a bad thing happened for Team India that was going to be a big concern throughout the series. While attempting a quick single, Dhoni pulled up with hamstring injury. He tried to continue but eventually had to leave the field, and it became clear that his participation in the rest of series was in a doubt. The West Indies, with Johnson Charles and Darren Bravo leading the charge, chased down the total with 14 balls to spare. Winning by 1 wicket, India had lost their opening match. But the bigger blow was not losing the match, but losing Dhoni, the captain, the finisher. He was not available for the entire series. With Dhoni ruled out, the captaincy was handed to Virat Kohli. At 24, Virat was already one of the most promising batsmen in the world cricket, but this was a new challenge. Leading India in a high-stake Tri-Series without the presence of MS Dhoni, it was a massive responsibility for Virat Kohli. India's next match was against Sri Lanka, the same Sri Lanka who was India's opponent in Champions Trophy 2013 semi-final. The pressure was immense. Batting first, Sri Lanka posted a formidable total of 348 runs, with Upal Taranga and Mahela Jayawardene scoring centuries. India's chase started well, with Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan putting up a solid opening partnership, but the middle order collapsed under pressure. India were ball out for 187, losing by a massive 161 runs. At this point, India's chances of making it to the finals were in serious trouble. With 2 losses in 2 games, they were in the bottom of the point table, and the team was under immense pressure. The absence of MS Dhoni was being felt, not just in terms of leadership but also in the way the team approached their game. Now you could see how Tri-Series used to be more exciting than bilateral series, right? Where bilateral series is just between 2 teams and Tri-Series is between 3 teams. This is where the competition gets tough. With their backs against the wall, India needed to win their remaining 2 matches anyhow. The round 2 has started and the first of this was against West Indies in Port of Spain. West Indies batted first, putting up a challenging 263 against India, with Darren Bravo once again leading the charge. This time, Indian batting lineup delivered. Virat Kohli leading from the front, scored a brilliant century, 102 runs of 83 balls. He was well supported by Rohit Sharma, who played a crucial knock of 46. The chase was tense, but India managed to cross the line with 2 balls to spare. It was a hard-fought victory, but more importantly, it kept India's hope alive. A win against West Indies brought a renewed sense of belief within the team. The final round-robin match was against Sri Lanka, and once again, it was a must-win game for India. The conditions were tough. In this match, India's bowler, especially Bhuvneshwar Kumar, showed his class, defending a low total against Sri Lanka. In a rain-hovering match, Bhuvi took 4 wickets for only 8 runs, dismantling the Sri Lankan batting order and winning the match by 81 runs. Oh boy, before Siraj, I guess Bhuvi was the nightmare for Sri Lanka. After the crucial win against Sri Lanka that secured India's place into finals, now all the eyes were on MS Dhoni, because Virat Kohli had hinted that if India goes to the final, MS might play.
Yeah, he's getting there. If he reaches the finals, hopefully he'll be fit. Yeah, he's getting there. If he reaches the finals, hopefully he'll be fit.
विराट कोहली के बयान के थोड़ी देर बाद ही टीवी स्क्रीन पर धोनी को प्रैक्टिस करते देखा गया। वो फर्राटे से दौड़ रहे थे, हेलीकॉप्टर शॉट्स लगा रहे थे, ऊंचे कैच पकड़ रहे थे, फुटबॉल खेल रहे थे। यकीन ही नहीं हुआ कि 9 दिन पहले धोनी की मांसपेशियों में ऐसा खिंचाव आया था कि उन्हें पूरे वेस्ट इंडीज सीरीज से बाहर करना पड़ा। मेहनत विराट की, कब धोनी का। मेहनत विराट की, कब धोनी का।
Now that we all know his hamstring injury had kept him out of the action for the entire tournament, there were doubts whether he will be available or not for the finals. But Dhoni, known for his calm and all, we all know how freaky he is, he decided to play that final. The final was set at Queen's Park Oval, Port of Spain. India faced off against Sri Lanka, who had looked solid throughout the series. Winning the toss, Sri Lanka option to bat first. Their top order was in decent form, and they managed to post a respectable total of 201 in their 50 overs. Now we all may think this is an easy task. India will chase it easily, but hear me out. The pitch was slow, offering some help to the spinners, and the outfield was heavy due to the overnight rain, making boundaries hard to come. As India began their chase, there was air of confidence in the team. However, that confidence quickly went off as India's top order struggled against disciplined Sri Lankan bowling attack. Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan, who had been reliable throughout the tournament, gave a good start but was not able to capitalize it. The pitch was playing its tricks, and the Sri Lankan bowler exploited it beautifully. So when India found themselves in trouble, the top order collapsed and the middle order failed to stabilize the inning. Jadeja and Ashwin went back to back. Now the scoreboard was 152 for 7. At one moment it was looking like an easy chase for Team India, but as I told you, the pitch was different. Sri Lankan bowling attack was fully planned out. 50 runs were still needed with 78 balls still to face. There was no tension of required run rate, but wickets were falling at other end. That was a big concern. The only hope for Team India at the moment was that man who had just returned to the team, MS Dhoni. Working at number 6, Dhoni knew that situation was tense and not new for him. He had already faced this type of situation a lot of time in his career, but the biggest concern for Team India was his health. Can he play typical MS Dhoni inning? Now the target wasn't that huge, but the challenge was the pitch, the condition, the disciplined Sri Lankan bowling, and the mounting pressure. He also knew that he wasn't 100% fit, but his presence alone was enough to lift the spirit of Team India camp. Dhoni's approach to the inning was classic. He absorbed the pressure, played out the tough overs, and kept the scoreboard ticking, all while observing the pitch and the bowlers. That typical MS Dhoni inning was in the build. As wickets were falling from other end, Dhoni knew that he needed a strong partner in the lower order. Bhuvi, who had just come now, together they focused on building a partnership, one run at a time. The runs weren't coming easily. The pitch was very slow, but Dhoni knew that the importance of staying at the crease till the end. He wasn't just battling the Sri Lankan bowlers, he was battling the condition and the pressure of the situation. On the other end, Bhuvi was not able to score any run, but he stayed on the crease. He played the 15 balls before giving up his wicket. Later come Vinay Kumar, who was also on the crease for a while meanwhile played 15 balls and scored 5 runs before departing. 9 wickets were down. Sri Lanka just needed 1 wicket to win. As the match neared its conclusion, the required run rate kept climbing. It all boiled down to the final over. 15 runs were needed of 6 ball. MS Dhoni, known for his ability to finish the game, was on strike. The bowler was Shaminda Eranga, who had bowled well throughout the match, but Dhoni was built different. He was complete different beast in this type of situation. 15 runs, 6 ball. Eranga ball, first ball, far up to Dhoni. It was a dot ball. Now India needed 15 of 5. The pressure in the air was increasing every freaking second. Dhoni, who had just returned from injury, was not 100% fit. The Sri Lankan bowlers had done their homework and were executing perfectly so far. The only question was, can MS Dhoni score big on this slow pitch? And the very next ball, MS Dhoni sent that out of the stadium. Now 9 were required of 4 ball. The next ball went to the boundary, now requiring 5 of 3. This was getting too easy for India. At one moment, it was nearly impossible. The slow pitch, Sri Lankan discipline, bowling attack and wicket falling another end. But typical MS Dhoni with his style glued the India inning and brought this chase to the last over. Jayawardene, Angelo Matthews were working on the next ball. It seemed like game was slipping out of Sri Lanka's hand, and on other side, the strawberry farmer was just waiting for ball to be thrown. Let's see what happened then.
More often at the death, you see batsmen sitting deep so that they can get underneath the Yorker, but Dhoni is not doing that.
Magnificent, magnificent Mahindra. He is unbelievable in so many ways. He has taken India to victory by just 1 wicket.
21 runs he had to put on with Ishant Sharma. Never panicked at any stage. Even in the last over from Matthews, he reassured Ishant Sharma, leave it to me in the last over. It's taken him only 4 balls. At 15 to get, starting with 2 to spare.
People often complained why MS Dhoni never had any overseas century or why he plays slow, and in a way they try to ignore or avoid his contribution to Team India. This small contribution were way more important than scoring a century and all. I understand people now will talk about 2019 semis and all, tab kya ho gaya tha, why didn't Dhoni won that game for us? It's a game, right? Someday it works in your favor and other it doesn't. How many times did you chase big target in your gully cricket or tough cricket match? Someday you were Virat Kohli, the king mode, you chase it down easily. Another time you failed. Now all this fight ignite when few people, I'm stressing over this, okay, few people from the fandom starts the war. I don't want to blame any fandom particularly, but all fandoms have some percentage of toxic people, be it MS Dhoni fan or Rohit Virat fans. Every fandom has that few percentage of toxic people, and I guess it's best that we avoid them. Hey, we love ABD and we call him Alien, Mr. 360 and all. We love Gale, we call him Universe Boss. We love Ken Williamson, when he lost he smiles and all, we call him Kane Mama. But when it comes to our players, our Indian players, why are we like this? I saw this beautiful reel by Silly X on Insta. It's a beautiful way to say a lot in a small way, and I will continue this series talking about the great contribution done by our Indian players and even the players that we love from outside. Let me know more ideas that you have in comment section and I will look into it. But hey, talking about players, watch Virat Kohli rolling IPL. The video is on your screen, else watch this new video from us.
It's for somebody special, yeah. Can't wait it out tonight.